Welcome back, everybody, to the J&D Podcast, to our preview episode. I'm Jason.
I had to get the cut, you know what I'm saying? Me first, Darren in the building now. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. But before we look forward to this weekend, we, of course, have to look back first to the Monday night football game, Packers versus Raiders. What are we thinking, Darian?
Man. Jordan Love showed a lot of promise. Oh man, he's gonna be the next, Aaron Rodgers, and I put a lot of praise on him, on a previous episode. I did say he could potentially be better than Aaron Rodgers. Right now I am definitely not thinking that at all. Just the fact that he basically essentially just got boxed by the Raiders defense, which is, let's be honest, not good. So 3 interceptions, you can't have that. It's a terrible game to lose for real. One thing I will talk about, a very good storyline in the game, that Marcus Peters basically saved a touchdown tackle with a horse collar, which was crazy. So, honestly, Jimmy G played all right. Josh Jacobs played all right. It's just, for me, the Packers beat themselves, and the defense kind of stepped up as well for the Raiders.
Yeah, a really disappointing game once again for the Packers. I've put a lot of trust and faith in them, and they're struggling more than I would hope they would. I saw an interesting stat, though, for Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
In the first half of games, he's statistically the worst quarterback, but in the second half of games, he's one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's like he's a younger quarterback and it just takes some time throughout the game to adjust the defense or something, but that's something that they probably really need to work on, because if you're going down into the half every game, it's going to be like this. You're not going to be able to have enough time to come back. And I mean, even if he played fine in the second half, it wasn't enough. I want to see more from him. I know it's only his first year fully starting,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not like his first year in the league. He
It's not.
sat behind Aaron Rodgers. He's had some experience, so I'm looking for a little bit more than what he's given us so far.
Yeah.
But last night we had the Broncos take on the Chiefs in a not amazing game, I'd say.
Broncos can we stop riding now? Like I think that's how let's just not ride anymore, because Russell Wilson is terrible. He's washed up. He needs to be. I don't understand why you guys gave up all that to get him. You guys gave up a lot of pieces. I mean, honestly, you needed a quarterback, which you honestly could have tanked like a majority of the teams do. Russell Wilson, yeah, is not that guy. He's just not that guy. He's too old. He's older now, and he doesn't have the weapons apparently, because Jerry Jeudy, who is supposed to be that guy, simply has not taken that step yet. But what guy that did look amazing last night, despite not having a touchdown catch, which was Travis Kelce, like the best player on the field all night. Patrick Mahomes played a little iffy, threw an interception, but played all right to his standards. Travis Kelce was like the best player on the field last night. But you definitely cannot lose that game. I think that's what, the 16th straight loss for the Broncos against the Chiefs. I know last
I
time
don't
they
know if
won.
it's 16, but it's since they won the Super Bowl, they haven't beaten the
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Which, I mean, they played twice a year, so I mean, it wouldn't be surprising that was like 15,
It's
16.
getting up there for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs get the win, but I mean, they only scored one touchdown.
Yeah.
It is a good Broncos defense. That's the one thing you can say about this team, is that they have a good defense when they want to play well. Against Miami, they decide not to, I guess. But
Yeah.
I'd hope for like a little more than an 11-point win against this team.
Terrible
I don't
team.
know. I mean, the Chiefs just haven't looked this like the same Chiefs
Yeah.
this entire year, pretty much. I
Mhm.
know they smacked the Bears,
Yeah.
but it's like it's leaving some to be desired. They may be
Yeah.
winning, but it's like they're not the same Super Bowl team that they were. And the Broncos are just spiraling. I don't even know if you can say that, because they didn't start somewhere great. This
Yeah.
team is just dead in the water already.
They are.
It's been really rough for them overall. Jerry Jeudy, is causing some drama now in the locker room.
Yep,
Apparently,
he is.
he's going to
Yep,
get
he is.
traded most likely.
Mhm.
So
Hopefully.
this team just, I don't know what their outlook for the rest of the season is, but I know it's not good.
Honestly, I'm looking at the records right now. The only team that's winless is, well, will have the first pick over them will be the Bears, because we are winless right now. And they can lose out. I mean, if we can win a game or maybe two, and the Broncos lose out, they could damn near sneak the first pick and get Caleb Williams. So
Yeah, but then what do they do with Russell Wilson?
wait, do they even have that pick? Just let I
Oh,
mean,
the Seahawks might have it.
damn. Oh, that
Or the
sucks.
Saints. It's one of the
Or the
two, because
Saints.
they had to give up a first round for Sean Payton, which is also crazy.
Yeah, that's terrible. What's shown to be another terrible move by the Broncos. Damn, I don't know what you do then. Because I mean, I'm thinking if you can get Caleb Williams, honestly, just Let Russell be his backup and let him mentor the kid. Honestly, let him
You're
mentor the
gonna
kid.
pay like 200 more million for a backup.
You already made the bad decision. I mean, you would just at this point just bite the bullet and just try to look towards the future. That would be my thing. That'd be my decision.
Well, one way to look towards the future is watching some college football. Speaking of college football, we
Speaking,
got a kind of dry-ish slate coming into
yeah,
this weekend, but we
okay,
have some pretty, tough hitters. Most notably, we have number 8 Oregon walking
yeah,
in to number 7 Washington in
yeah,
what seems to be a battle for a potential playoff spot.
yeah. For me, I just number 8 for the Ducks. It confuses me simply because of the fact that we saw them beat the brakes off of Colorado. They haven't necessarily looked bad, so I was thinking they were going to be about around the top 5 team now. Like I don't think none of their games have been close besides the Texas Tech game, which was 38-30. None of their games have been close. They won them mostly by 30. So for them to be the number eight ranked team in the country is pretty insane to me. But I'm winning against Washington. I don't
Really?
know. I love that quarterback that plays for Washington. I don't know. I think I believe in the Oregon. I believe in Oregon a little bit too much, but I'm gonna go with the mirror. I'm gonna go with the mirror to win the game. Win the game. Pretty close game. I've been winning about. I don't want to say a touchdown because Washington's so good, but I'm gonna go 3. I'm winning about 3. I'm gonna win about 3.
Yeah, this game definitely looks like it's going to be a really close one. It'll be
Yeah.
very exciting, a lot of implications. Whoever wins this will probably go on to the Pac-12 championship. And if they win that also, they're probably going to the national championship playoffs.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, it's just really tough to call because both teams have looked fantastic this year.
Yeah.
Michael
Yeah.
Penix is now
Michael
leading
Penix.
the odds to be Heisman, which
Yeah.
is crazy, but good for
So
him.
mad we lost this man.
And their coach.
I'm so mad. I'm
It's
so
literally
mad.
the Washington Hoosiers.
Oh my gosh. We lost him in okay.
But yeah, they're looking amazing. But the thing is, Oregon is also looking amazing. It's
Yeah, really
really
good.
tough to say who has the edge over the other one. The only thing I guess I could say is that Washington won last year. So I guess Oregon has a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. We want to get ours back this year.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to pick Oregon, but I'm not saying that because I think they're the much better team. I'm just saying that because I have to pick a team. I think
Mm.
it's probably going to come down to like a game-winning field goal, something like that. Like you said, 3 points. I don't see any team really running away with it, but it's definitely going to be a very exciting game to watch.
Yeah, will be. For sure. Like, you know me, I haven't really talked much about Michael Penix, but I watched him a little bit this year. He looks really well. Besides, I mean, Caleb, well, of course, is far and away the best quarterback in the country. But if there's anybody that to me that was close, besides, Quinn Ewers, who took a step back against Oklahoma, I'm probably gonna go Michael Penix as well. So, I don't know. I love Oregon, and Oregon looks like a buzzsaw right now. But I mean, like I said, I don't think it will be. I think it'll be a pretty close game for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Another fun divisional matchup or conference matchup is going to be number 19 Tennessee playing against Texas A&M. We've seen a little bit from Texas A&M. They kept it pretty close with Bama. They're not amazing this year, but they definitely have the potential to pull off an upset against a team like Tennessee.
Yeah. I don't know because Tennessee lost to Florida, who's lost recently, lost a very bad game. I don't know. I'm gonna go Tennessee here. I'm gonna go the same pick here. They're, they didn't look the greatest. Lose a bad game against Florida, but I mean, other than that, they looked all right. So, I'm gonna go and pull out a 7-point win. A 7-point win for sure.
I'm a bigger fan, I'd say, of Texas A&M than I guess you are.
Yeah, that's a weird game.
I'm expecting not big things from this team, but I think that they're going to win this game. I know it's away at Tennessee. It's a very tough environment to win in, but I think Texas A&M has it in them to pull this off.
Yeah.
Also in the SEC, we got the Battle of the Tigers. We got LSU and Auburn. That'll be the very exciting matchup.
Yeah. Auburn, see, because the Auburn gave Georgia a pretty good run. I'm actually going to give Auburn the win here. I don't like LSU this year. I mean, I haven't really liked them since Joe Burrow left. So yeah, I'm gonna go Auburn to win. 12. Would it be upset if they won? Would it be upset?
I mean, by rankings, yes, it would.
Okay.
And all like the bet sports books and all that stuff, they have LSU as favorites, so it would be an upset. But like I know what you're saying. Like I agree with you. I think Auburn's going to win this. They've just
Yeah.
been playing tough all year, and LSU, they're okay, but they're very shaky. They're just very capable of having a pretty bad game. So, and I think Auburn has it in them to claim supremacy of the Tiger in the SEC.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going Auburn here too?
I'm going Auburn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going Auburn. Okay. Good. Good.
Yeah. Next up, we have an ACC matchup. We got 25 Miami walking into North Carolina. What do you see from this?
But see, like oh God. I don't know. I'm gonna go UNC here. I'm gonna go to pick. I haven't watched much of Miami this year. I've watched a little bit of University of North Carolina. I mean, of course, how was it? What game? It was a bad game that they lost early on. Was the one when they lost to Duke? Wasn't the one when they lost to Duke?
That was Notre Dame that
That
lost
was
to
Notre
Duke.
Dame. That was Notre Dame that lost to Duke. Okay, I'm tweaking my bad. That's on me. So yeah, I haven't watched much of neither team. I'm kind of just gonna go cold pick here. I'm gonna go UNC just because of the ranking, I guess.
Yeah, the thing with Miami is they're coming off a historically bad loss, like the worst loss maybe of all time. Time running out, you have possession. The other team has no timeouts, and you run the ball, you fumble it, and then give up a Hail Mary. Pretty much, worst loss you could ever imagine. Something straight out of like Madden. And
Yeah.
they're not a terrible team, but it's just I don't know how you recover from that. And you're going into play a really good team. Well, an all right team, top 15 in the nation. So I don't see how they recover. I think they're definitely going to lose also.
Okay.
Yep. Next up, we have Missouri walking in Kentucky. This is a game between, Kentucky, who's, they were on a roll and then just got
Yeah.
killed by Georgia, it seemed like.
Destroyed.
Very disappointing for them. And Missouri, they're also 5-1. They're having a pretty good start to the year. Do you
Okay.
think, they get this upset?
Nah. I mean, I'm not going to dock them too many points for getting ranted about Georgia. Georgia, to me, is the best team in the country. I mean, they were looking pretty good up until that point. I think they beat Florida, who we actually picked to beat Kentucky. But we did say we wouldn't be surprised if Kentucky won, but we both did pick Florida to beat Kentucky. So I'm not going to put too much stock into it. Last Saturday against Georgia. Georgia's the best team. They obviously have better talent. So I'm gonna go Kentucky here to beat Missouri.
I guess to be the contrarian, I think Missouri has it in them to win this game. I I just want to see something exciting happen here. And Kentucky, they're, a good team, but they're definitely not out of the range of getting upset like this. And it's not even that big of an upset, SEC, conference matchup. And Missouri's not a bad team. So I think that Missouri's going to win this game.
Yeah. Okay.
A big matchup is classic rivalry game of USC walking into Notre Dame. This will be, I mean, hopefully a fun game. It's always fun between these two, but what do you think?
I'm looking at the stats right now. I'm gonna go USC here to beat Notre Dame. I think with them having the best player in the country, which is Caleb Williams. I think I like Notre Dame. Like they always do a good job of competing, but I just think the talent on that offensive side of football for USC would just win the game. I think they won't be able to keep up with that offensive side of football. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, we all know the problem with USC is their defense.
Yeah,
It's
terrible.
just can't stop anything, couldn't stop a toddler if they wanted to, it feels like. And Notre Dame, I had a lot of trust in them. They were looking good so far, and then they just had two tough losses, really, that have really sunk them, it feels like. So it is at home, which I think will really help give them a benefit. But I just don't think that's going to be enough to outweigh just USC's pure talent. So as much as I dislike saying it, I definitely think USC is going to win this game. But
Okay.
something that I might like saying a little more is UCLA shot at Oregon State, although might be a little closer.
You know what? Just because you my boy, I'm gonna pick out a win. I'm gonna pick out a win.
Ooh,
Okay. You know what I'm saying? I've been a little bit hard on UCLA, since the podcast came on. I'm gonna go UCLA here. Oregon State doesn't do it for me. Of course, I don't really. I think this is one of those games where the ranking really doesn't matter. I think you guys have lost to guys that are just simply better than you. I don't think Oregon State's just better than you. I think the rankings are just. I don't think the rankings speak for the talent here. So I'm actually I'm gonna go you guys to win by 7+. Win by 7+. By touchdown plus.
This is a pretty big game for both teams because they're both one-loss teams. So another loss, kicks them out of contention for the playoffs. I mean, neither of them really, I don't think, had aspirations going into the season, but it just is a good thing to play for. But with UCLA especially, this is going to be their hardest game for the rest of the year besides USC. If they win this game and then they go throughout the rest of the year and they beat USC, that's a really good team that could totally make the national championship, or at least they'll make the Pac-12 championship game. And, if they win that game, then they're totally set for it because their strength of schedule is the weakest remaining in the conference.
It is.
So it's a really important game for them. I don't, I'm still not going to say they're going to run through them because, UCLA's defense is just a juggernaut. They put one of the best offenses in the country last week, Washington State, to shame.
Yep,
it was amazing. It's just the offense really needs to come around. Dante Moore, he's still a true freshman, so obviously, he's not going to be all there yet. But if he can really develop, towards the back end of the season, that'll be really big for them. And this game will be close, I think. But I do think UCLA will be able to get the dub. But if Oregon State wins, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not going to be truly disappointed. Okay. They're still a quality team, I think.
Yeah.
But shifting over to the NFL, we've got a lot of weak matchups this week, it feels like. But one that should definitely be interesting is the Seahawks versus Bengals.
I don't know about this one. I don't want to hop on the Bengals bandwagon after what they did to the Cardinals last week. And Seattle, they're weird to me. They're weird to me this year. I'm definitely not as sold on them like I was last year. Like last year, they were playing with a lot of hunger to me. This year, they're not really playing with that. So, you know what? I'm gonna go Bengals here. I'm gonna go same pick. I'm going to the Bengals here. I actually wouldn't mind seeing the matchup with Tariq Woolen and Jamar Chase. Knowing that Jamar Chase had 15 catches last week, I know the defense will be paying a lot of attention to them. So I'm actually kind of expecting a big game from the other guy like Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, those type of guys. I'm expecting some big games for them. But I have the Bengals winning. I think it's kind of for me taking a step back. He's not playing as well as he did last year, so I'm gonna go Joe Burrow, who seems to have come back into form.
Yeah, both these teams have been pretty inconsistent, I'd say, to start this year. Both teams, playoff teams in the year prior, but just really haven't been able to find their footing. And like you said, Geno Smith, I sort of expected this. I don't know how many other people, but he's always going to take a step back. I didn't think he was going to continue at that level he's playing last year. I think, he's finally writing back to being written off,
Yeah.
And, the Bengals.
He's right back this time. The
Bengals, got a good win last week. And I think that they'll probably be able to carry that momentum and manage to turn it into a win this week. But you never know with either of these teams.
Yeah, you really
probably know the Seahawks win 27-10, like that. You just don't know. These two teams are very unpredictable.
Yeah, both of them are.
Yeah. A good divisional matchup, though, for the lead for the AFC South, Colts versus Jaguars.
I would be a lot more convinced about this game if Erich was playing. But he's out for the next 4 weeks. So I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence here. They beat the Bills last week. There's no reason why they should take a step back, but we know the Jags would do some shit like that. So I'm going to go the same pick. I'm going to go the Jags. Money Minshew isn't playing bad. He's keeping the team afloat. He's keeping the team afloat. He's not doing too much. He's not doing too little. I think it'd be a lot more competitive game than people will get credit for. But I just think the Jags win. I think Trevor Lawrence is hopefully now this time around he can start hitting his stride like we hoped he would after the first week.
I think you said it perfectly. I'm not Trevor Lawrence. Gardner Minshew is doing fine. He's not, going crazy. He's keeping them afloat.
Yep.
And there's a lot of Colts fans I've heard, they like him. They think maybe they'd be better off with him than Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, you can't say healthy.
Yeah, I mean, we just don't know. Anthony Richardson hasn't been able to be healthy enough to prove if he's better or worse than Minshew. But this Colts team isn't bad. I mean, under Minshew, they've won all their games, I'm pretty sure. They beat the Ravens. They beat the Titans last week. So, he's not holding them back, I'd say, until like if they got to the playoffs, then that's where you like get to where like you need someone better than Minshew. But I could totally see a Colts win here. I don't think they're going to. I think the Jaguars, I'm once again preparing myself to get hurt by the Jaguars. I'm putting my faith in them. Me too. But the Colts could definitely run out of Jacksonville with a win. Yeah. One game that we might be a big upset. We got the Eagles versus Jets. Eagles looking great, 5-0, just haven't been able to be stopped, versus the Jets, who have been very inconsistent, but they're that kind of team where they just stop the big teams. They almost beat the Chiefs. They beat the Bills. This team, I mean, they got blown out by the Cowboys, which is, that game just is wild. But this team definitely, I think, has the potential to be able to pull off an upset here.
The only thing with this game is going to be like the Eagles defense look very average. Okay, my bad. The defense line look really good, but their secondary has looked very average this year compared to last year. I definitely think they've taken a step back. Maybe it's the loss of Avonte Maddox. We don't know yet. Also, CJ Gardner-Johnson too. That definitely doesn't help. I'm gonna go because Zach Wilson has looked better, and like seeing how they played against the Chiefs. I could damn near see them winning this game. Low key. The only I'm actually really interested to see that Eagles offensive line against the Jets defensive line, who we know can swap out multiple guys on the defensive line that can all make plays. I'm also really interested to see Quinn Williams versus Jason Kelce as well. So I'm actually for the upset here. I'm gonna go with the Jets here. I think Zach Wilson will play well. I'm gonna go with Zach Wilson. I don't think he's gonna make many mistakes. I think he's starting to clean it up. I think he's starting to gain more confidence. And Breece Hall looked really well against the Broncos. Okay. Yeah, I'm going with the Jets. I've talked myself into it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very plausible outcome. This Jets team, they're a scary team to play, I'd say. But, the Eagles still, they just haven't been beat yet. I just don't think this is where the run stops. I don't think it stops at Zach Wilson.
Okay.
Maybe Zach Wilson continues his upward trend of, starting to get more comfortable and start playing better. But I just don't think that they're going to be able to pull off against a team like the Eagles. Okay. They're getting close. They're getting close to that level, but I just don't think they're there yet.
The only thing that scares me about this game is because we've known that Jalen Hurts has had a very, 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 very consistent time of trying to just close his eyes and just throw it up to A.J. Brown, who is not going to be able to do that against Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner will make him pay for those. Sauce Gardner is bigger than A.J. Brown. Sauce Gardner is bigger than A.J. Brown. He's taller than A.J. Brown. He can't just throw it up to him like how he does with A.J. Brown with every other corner. So if the Jets can stop the run, I think it's going to be a lot closer because I don't think Jalen Hurts is good enough to where he's going to be able to just throw on this defense like that. Their secondary is playing really well.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally see it happen. I just personally don't think it will.
Okay.
And then the last of our really big games, I guess, or I guess we have one more after this, but Lions versus Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, I mean, it's battle between two division leaders. These guys might face each other in the playoffs for all we know.
Mm-hmm. I've been liking the Bucks, especially under Baker Mayfield. I've been liking them. They've been playing really well. I was hoping Rachaad White was going to take a bigger step than what he's taken. He's kind of dropped back in the last couple of weeks. Hopefully, he can have a big game against the Lions. And I also think that the defense is going to do a good job of shutting down David Montgomery, who's been running out fast for the Lions lately. So I think they do a good job of stopping the run. And I think, they're going to play average. I think Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans, who's apparently had a resurgence, and Chris Godwin is gonna. I think they're gonna torch that Lions defense. To be honest with you, and I think Tristan Wirfs will do a good job of containing Aiden Hutchinson. So yeah, I got the Bucks winning. I got the Bucks winning pretty easily. Yeah, I got the Bucks winning pretty easily.
I think the reemergence of Jamison Williams is really gonna give that Buccaneers defense a test now that they have him, Amon-Ra, Josh Reynolds, and Sam Laporta, who's having a great season so far.
Like the best hand in the league right now.
I think that just offense. I think the Lions are a better team than the Buccaneers. Buccaneers have definitely
Hmm.
surprised me this year. They've definitely been a better team than I was expecting, but I just think the Lions are going to be better. I think they'll get this win. Yeah.
Okay. You say that. Besides quarterback, what are the Lions better at than the Bucks? Where are they better? What position are they better at than the
I
Bucks?
mean, I'd say wide receivers are better this year. I mean, maybe not. Tight end, I guess,
Okay,
is
tight end. Okay, I will give you tight end.
their
Okay.
offensive line is pretty good, although the Buccaneers also have a better
Yeah.
offensive line.
Okay, so for me, Tristan Wirfs is better than Pat Penacewell. For me, Ragnow and Jensen kind of counter each other out. I think okay, I can
They're
actually
pretty
see that.
close. They're pretty
I,
close.
I think the Lions have a more complete line. Yeah, okay. I can see that. I can see that. Okay.
And maybe it comes down to coaching.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean,
I
Tybo's been
like
playing pretty well.
I,
Tybo's been
I just
playing.
like the Lions better in this matchup,
Okay.
but it could
So,
definitely go either way.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess moving on to the MLB, big week. We finally making our way, getting closer to the World Series. Had some very disappointing performances in the division series,
They ain't
but
gonna name
that's
no names, but
led us to having two very interesting championship series. First, we got the Diamondbacks versus Phillies, which I don't think anybody saw coming into this year. I think the Diamondbacks were definitely, not even seen as a team that was gonna make the playoffs. And the Phillies were definitely favored because, they made the World Series last year. But I think the Diamondbacks have been very, they're very hot. And so I think that's going to really benefit them.
Atlanta, how y'all feeling? I ain't
Yeah,
gonna
that's crazy.
Atlanta, how y'all feeling today?
Yeah,
You
the
know,
Braves having a crazy, crazy choke, I'd
all
say.
around the regular season. Oh man, we got the best offense in the league. Our offense is historical. Didn't see that against the Phillies. I ain't gonna lie to you, but hey, it's not my business. It's not my business. You have 3 hits, 2 guys on base. You have a chance to take the lead, and guess what? You choke. So you know what? I'm going to talk my shit because I don't like Atlanta. I don't like any of the teams in Atlanta, to be honest with you. So I hope you guys have a very, 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 very terrible day that your team went home. And now I ain't gonna lie. I want to see a Phillies and Astros matchup, but we get into that. So for the Diamondbacks and the Phillies, I'm gonna take the Phillies. I think the Phillies will win this match. I think their hardest test on that side was the Braves, and they took care of the Braves pretty easily. I want to say pretty easily. You know what I'm saying? They honestly could have swept them. They had a game they could have won. They
It was
lost.
close, yeah.
Yeah, they had a game they could have won. They lost and could have swept them. But hey, they got the job done. I think they'll walk into the World Series. I think the series will be competitive. To be honest with you.
I mean, the Diamondbacks have been surprising this year. They
Yeah.
had the makings of last year's Phillies team. They beat the
Mhm.
Brewers, and every team that beats the Brewers goes to the World Series. But it's once again like can't see a world really where the Phillies lose this. They just have all this momentum. They're hot as ever.
Mhm.
But the Diamondbacks swept the Dodgers. I was shocked to see that. I can't believe that happened.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I'm just gonna stick with my guts, and I think the Phillies are gonna do it. But if the Diamondbacks win, good for them. I like the Diamondbacks. I go to see them play almost every year because I go to spring training, so local guys there. But
Okay.
I just don't think they have it. Maybe in a couple of years, once the guys are a little older, Corbin Carroll is a couple more years under his belt, but
Yep.
I just don't think it's their time.
I don't think it'll do that. I think it's the Phillies on for sure.
Yeah. But one team that's been their time since 2017, we got the Astros facing off against the Rangers. Both teams, making the division series look easy. Rangers sweeping the Orioles, very surprising to me. Astros, taking care of business against the Twins, not surprising to me.
Yep.
Who do you think is going to win this?
You know what? I'm gonna go with the defending champions here. Like I like the Texas Rangers. Them beating the Orioles for me kind of giving bragging rights over a friend that who is from Baltimore, so he's an Orioles fan. He goes to Orioles games, so I got to talk a little bit of shit. But I think this is where it ends for the Texas Rangers. I think the Houston Astros coming off of their championship. We talked about this on a couple episodes ago that they would bounce back to form in the playoffs, and they seem to have bounced back to form. I think they'll win this. I think they'll win this series. Pretty honestly, I think it'll be competitive. I don't think so. You know what?
Really?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I just think the championship pedigree, man. The championship pedigree is going to show. It's going to show.
Wow.
And their core, like I said, their core is found on all cylinders. I think the championship chemistry to show, and I think they'll win this pretty easily.
Wow, that's surprising to me because I also agree with you. I think the Astros are going to win here, but I think it's going to be a dogfight. You know, it's a Texas Derby. I could totally see this going to 7 games, just being a real, slugfest type of thing. Both offenses have just been looking amazing. And I just don't see a world where either team really dominates over the other one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as an Angels fan, I despise both of these teams. Just can't root for any team in Texas.
Yeah.
But I just hate the Rangers a little more, I guess. And I've had this thing where I'm just gonna root for the Astros a little more because the Astros have a World Series. They have 2 of them.
Yep.
Or 3, however many, 2, I think.
I think it's 2.
Rangers have 0. We got to keep it that way. We cannot as a society, we're not allowed to let the Rangers get a World Series ring. So as much as it hurts, I got to root for these Astros. And I do think they're going to win outside of like me being biased towards, not wanting the Rangers to win the ring. But I would definitely I'd be less surprised if the Rangers won than if the Diamondbacks won. I think that's the more likely of the upsets. I don't even know if it's an upset, really.
So let me ask you a question now. How many games do you think goes then? Since you think it's gonna be a dogfight?
I think it's gonna be 7 games for sure. 7 or 6 at least. There's no way it goes below 6.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I can see your logic. I don't know. I think when you're dealing with a championship team and they're coming back for the second year, like they want to win too. They want to win too, and they're hungry. And they look struggle. They kind of struggled in the regular season down the stretch, but I mean, like we said, they were going to bounce back to form once the playoffs started, and they seem to have. I think the experience matters. Like you said, the Rangers don't have a ring, so and they have they ever even been to the World Series?
Yeah, they have.
How long ago was
one of my favorite chokes of all time in the 2011 World Series?
Oh yeah. I remember watching it. Oh yeah, I remember watching it on ESPN. Okay, yeah. So my point was they haven't been recently, especially with this group. So like I said, I think the nerves would get to them. I think the championship pedigree and the calmness and the pedigree of the Astros will win them series pretty easily.
All right. Well, that's it for this week's episode. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share with all your friends. We love it. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Yep. We out.